Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Anita Landari dan Indah Ridwani akan mempresentasikan hasil kami, yaitu menjelaskan tentang language skill, speaking, teaching, oral skills. The oral skills class. One basic consideration is the level of the students and their perceived needs. Level may be determined by a placement test administered by the institution or by a diagnostic test given by the teacher. Activities. There are many ways to promote oral skills in the ESL or EFL classrooms. 1. Discussion. 2. Speeches. 3. Role plays. 4. Conversation. 5. Audio taped oral dialogue journals. 6. Other accuracy-based activities. Activities. Discussions. Typical, the students are introduced to a topic via a reading, a listening passage, or a videotape, and are then asked to get into pairs or groups to discuss a related topic in order to come up with a solution, a response, or the like. Speeches. Topic for speeches will vary depending on the level of the student and the focus of the class, but in any case, students should be given some leeway in determining the context of their talks. Activities. Role plays. Depending on student level, role plays can be performed from prepared script created from a set of prompts and expression, or written using and consolidating knowledge. Conversation is not adequate to have students produce lots of language. They must become more metalinguistically aware of the many features of language in order to become competent speakers and interlocutors in English. Activities. Audio or tape oral dialogue journals. Oral dialogue journals are one form at where practice in fluency and attention to accuracy can be accomplished at the same time. Be sure to remind students to speak extemporaneously and explain why work on unplanned speaking and some guidance. Other auxiliary-based activities. Brown 1994 recommend that if drills commonly uncontextualized pattern practice exercise are to be used, they should be short, simple, and snappy. They should be used sparingly and led to more effective communication activities. Teaching oral skills in a EFL context. When teaching speaking skills, EFL teachers need to be particularly adept at organizing class activities that are authentic, motivating, and varied. If the necessary technology is available, showing movies or recorded television programs and placing audio tapes of program can be enjoyable for students and can provide them with authentic practice in listening to native speakers' speech. Assessment. The oral skill teacher may be required to make decisions about two kinds of oral assessment. 1. Evaluation of classroom performance. Brown and Yule 1983 makes several useful recommendations for classroom oral assessment. 1. Whenever possible, extensions of speech that have a purpose and that are structured should be allocated. 2. The input given to students, whether it be visual, e.g., a picture for description, oral, e.g., a directive to tell me about the most exciting day you have had, or interrogative, e.g., question in an interview, should be consistent for all examinees. 2. Preparing students to take interpreting results from large-scale oral examination. Successful performance on which has become increasingly common as a requirement for admission to universities as a minimum standard for teaching assistantship and as a qualification for various types of employment. Teaching pronunciation. Setting realistic goals, Dalton and Seithofer list 6 communicative abilities related to pronunciation. 1. Prominence, how to make silent the important points we make. 2. Topic management, how to signal and recognize where one topic ends and another begins. 3. Information status, how to mark what we assume to be scarce knowledge as opposed to something new. 4. Turn taking, when to speak and when to be silent, how not to yield the floor to somebody else. 5. Social meanings and rules, how to question ourselves, fish or interlocutor, as in terms of status, dominance or authority, politeness, solidarity, or separateness. 6. Degree of influence, how to convey our attitudes, emotion, etc. A description of the sound system of English. 1. 2 groups. Just as punctuation helps the reader process written discourse, phrasing helps the listener to process the stream of speech more easily, home or hear or write or know. 2. Prominence, a syllable that is effaced usually by lengthening it and moving the speech up or down. I was speaking to him or on the phone yesterday. 3. Intonation, the melodic line or pitch pattern. Okay? Give an example. 4. Rhythm, just as longer and shorter notes make up a musical measure longer and. Description of the sound system of English. 5. Reduced speech. One way to weaken unstressed syllables is to shorten them. Another is to relax the mouth when articulating the vowels and to use less energy. 6. Linking. Linking is a general term for the adjustments speakers make between words in connected speech. The boundaries between words seem to disappear. She changed it is easier to pronounce than she changed it. 7. Consonants. Consonant sounds are characterized by place of articulation, where the sound is made, manner of articulation, how the sound is made, and voicing, whether the vocal cords are vibrating or not. The International Phonetic Alphabet uses the following symbol for this sound. 8. Vowels. Fetch. A vowel can even constitute a syllable or a word as in A. Vowels are articulate with a relatively unbrushed airflow. There is usually no contact between articulators. As a result, vowels are often defined in relation to one another rather than to some fixed point. They are distinguished by tongue position front central back, tongue and jaw height might low, degree of lip reading and the relative tension of the muscles involved. Description of the sound system of English. 9. Word stress. 1. Stress falls more often on the root or basis of a word and less often on a prefix. Believe, predict, complain. 2. Com- Compound nouns tend to take primary stress on the first element and secondary stress on the second. Airplane, bus stop, complete this. 3. Suffixes can either A. Have no effect on stress. Beauty, beautiful. Deliver, deliverance. Perform, performer. B. Take the primary stress themselves. Many of these are from French. Picture a skilled truth theft endeavor balance. C. Cause the stress pattern in the stem to shift to a different syllable. Period, period. Sequence, sequential. Organization. Communicative framework for teaching pronunciation. 1. Description and analysis. Initially, the teacher presents a future showing when and how it occurs. The teacher might ask create consonant, vowel, or organs of speech, or present the rulers of assurance. 2. Listening discrimination. Listening activities include contextualist, minimal pair discrimination exercise such as the following from Gilbert, 1993. Communicative framework for teaching pronunciation. 3. Controlled practice. Any kind of choral reading can work if the learner's attention is clearly focused on the target feature. 4. With practice. The learner now begins to focus on meaning, grammar, and communicative intent as well as pronunciation. Teachers need to develop a continuum of bridging activities which shift attention gradually to a new cognitive text. 5. Communicative practice. In this stage, activities strike a balance between form and meaning. Examples include role plays, debates, interviews, simulation, and drama scenes. Some teaching techniques. 1. Contextualist, minimal pair practice. 2. Cartoon and drawings. 3. Gadget and props. 4. Rhymes, poetry, and jokes. 5. Drama. 6. Kinesthetic activities. Media and technology. 1. Audio. Audio recording is the most basic way to capture sound, either a model or the student's own speech for the learner to review. 2. Video. A commercial video tape programs focus on pronunciation and usually involve the other teaching, pronunciation lesson or actors performing a scan with exercise. 3. Computer software. Some programs focus primarily on sound, whereas others visual display the lag, pitch, and loudness of an veteran. Some programs have a authoring system in which the instructor can upload his or her own content to the program. Others come with a stock set of utterances for the learner to practice. 4. Internet. The Internet provides a continually expanding number of websites which can be mined for pronunciation instruction. Assessment 1. Diagnostic evaluation 1. Learners read a passage designed to contain a variety of features and sounds. 2. Learners are prompted by a topic, a series of questions, or an illustration. 3. An oral interview recorded for later evaluation. 2. Ongoing feedback. 1. Self-monitoring. One way to guide learners to self-correct is to point out their errors such as gesture, pronunciation, correction, things, and cards. 2. Peer feedback. In this scenario, the first speaker reads one of the two minimal pair options and the three other group members each mark what they hear. 3. Teacher feedback. The teacher can ask gestures, pronunciation, correction signs through audio cassette or computer sound files. 3. Classroom assessment test. Classroom assessment tests evaluate learners' progress according to what has been taught and are constantly more focused and diagnostic assessment. Developing children's listening and speaking in ESL. How children differ from adults as language learners. Experts advise for teachers to teach ESL holistically and to focus on the whole child. Focus on meaning. Focus on the value of the activity. Focus on collaboration and social development. Profit and bridge contact. Treat learners appropriately. Third language as a tool for social and academic ends. Ask language for authentic communication. Development children's listening and speaking in ESL. Technique and research 1. Using songs, poems, and cans. One way of technique a poem, can, or song is to start with the context and vocabulary and gradually move the student from listening to repeating to independent recitation or singing. 1. Familiarize the children with the vocabulary and context by using picture and object. 2. Recite the poem or can sing or play a tape of the song from online at a time to the whole text or the text could be split into parts. 3. Practice for about 5 minutes a day. 4. Make costume and props. Uh, 5. Have the class present the chant poems or songs to other children. Developing children's listening and speaking in ESL. Technique and research. 2. Dramatic activities. Dramatic activities can be beneficial for children whether they have a big or small part in the production. They may listen intently while silently playing their part. 3. Storytelling. A skillful teacher can ask stories to develop more efficient listening, more fluent speaking, and the ability to read the write easily and competently. 4. Gesture and movement. You can combine gesture and movement with songs, poems, or cats, with drama and with stories. 5. Total physical response. In TPR, the teacher give command, model them, and gradually when the student form watching the teacher model. Some students are able to carry out a variety of commands. They understand most of what is said and in the process acquire receptive language, especially vocabulary and grammar. 6. Teaching grammar. As children grow older, their metalinguistic awareness, ability to analyze a language grows, and they do tend to notice errors much the same as adults do. That's our presentation. If there is a mistake, sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.